My dudes, what's happening, man? This is Trent, and on our Discord channel, we do a monthly concept art challenge. Now, this is not a competition, it's not a contest, but I'm going to be doing a showcase for everybody that did a piece for this concept art challenge in the month of October, and there's a lot of them. I want to be clear, I'm not giving feedback, not really, I'm not giving critique. This isn't a professional review of your work. The purpose of this concept art challenge is to enjoy the process of doing something fun, having a challenge presented to you that is similar to what you might experience if you were working in a professional environment, and problem solving with the community and problem solving together to find solutions. There's no job involved. In fact, there's nothing involved. There's acknowledgement from me and my community here on YouTube. That's pretty much about the most you can hope for from this. That said, there are some people who are so good that they should be getting jobs, and I hope that this video will help to bring some of those artists to the limelight, because they deserve it. You work hard, you do great work, you should get noticed for that. It's hard to stand out these days. Now, before I dig all the way into it and I start showcasing all of your artwork, I want to show you what I've been doing. This is the Twilight Monk Secrets of Kung Fulio illustrated novel. When I say illustrated novel, some people don't know what that means. It means it is a young adult fantasy kung fu action adventure novel with lots and lots of drawings. I've done over 70 illustrations. Me and the team at Aquatic Moon have put together a masterpiece of kung fu action adventure. So if you're interested in reading about Twilight Monk, go check it out. It's over on Amazon, or you could follow the link in the description below to get the PDF or the exclusive hardcover edition that has an original artwork by myself. And I ship those out the first week of November. So you can get yourself one of these with a bunch of stickers and other cool goodies that I'm going to throw in there for Twilight Monk fans. All right, that's enough for me doing my own self-promotion. Let's talk about you guys. Let's talk about what the Discord, the Aquatic Moon Discord community has done for this month's challenge. All right, so this month's October design challenge is to design an ancient blacksmith that would fit into the world of Darksiders. This does not have to be any particular race from that game. It can be an ancient beings not seen in the series. Darksiders has an expressive art style that's very inspiring. Try to match the proportions and the logic of construction and existing Darksiders designs. This means studying guys like Joe Madureira, obviously, and Paul Richards, and many of the other very talented artists who've worked on the Darksiders series. A blacksmith would have a very particular gear for this job. You want to communicate the story of the character and their purpose and their functionality in a creative way. Just from visually looking at them, you should immediately notice this character is a blacksmith. So I put up a couple of reference images to kind of like get people into the headspace of the kind of proportions and the kind of method of construction that characters in that universe have. This is a good challenge for yourself, any concept artist, to kind of imagine that you were applying for a job on that particular game. And this is a popular style. Stylized games are still in full effect. We are in 2020 and we're on the verge of a new console cycle, so a lot of things are going photorealistic. By about year 2 or 3 of any given video game console cycle, we start to get back to the flavor, the lots of character designs with a lot more personality and a lot of more stylized type of games start to come into the forefront. And that's a cycle that's just happened since, the dawn of time, since video games have been around, which is the dawn of time in my opinion. All right, so let's take a gander. Let's take a look at your guys' submissions for the Darksiders Blacksmith Concept Art Redesign Challenge. So this month we've actually got double the amount of submissions, double the amount of participants in this challenge. In fact, there were just so many entries that I felt the best way to do this was to present it as a slideshow and just bask in the glory of all this creative energy. And then I'm going to pick out a few of my favorites and we're going to talk about them towards the end. So let's do it. Watch through all these guys and just soak it in. There's so many creative, incredible drawings here. Oh my gosh. thank you to all of the contributors this month. My gosh, there's so many really creative, exciting ideas in there. I wanted to single out just a few of these that were just absolutely astounding. I think everybody agreed, everybody on the Discord agreed that Jenny just did a bang-up job with this one. The rendering on it, the lighting. I know that concept art isn't all about rendering and lighting, but you know, these days it kind of is. It helps your work stand out a lot. So we've got some blacksmithing elements here, obviously, like, you know, the hammer that's got the teeth in the design. This does feel a little bit almost more like a warrior, though. You've got some elements in here that, like, he could have more elements that communicate blacksmith right away. It might also help, of course, if you've got anvils and things in the background, you know, because this character, it just looks like an awesome character all around. But as a concept, we need more of that blacksmith thing, identifier right out of the gate. And like, you have an opportunity here with the blue flame, maybe communicate with little notes off to the side of how this character might use that blue flame to forge or smelt the metals down and infuse it with magic or something like that. Little notes throughout would be a really nice touch. The rendering on it is really top notch. I feel like you could get in as a renderer or a character painter, illustrator right away. But in terms of character design, give me more of that blacksmith vibe. It's got to be identifiable right away of what that character's job is or what their function is. But incredible job, Jenny. Really beautiful painting. I wanted to point out this design by Siyakusama65, which is a really nice idea, the concept behind it, and the elements of the character's design are there. You have these really nice robes for the blacksmithing tools wrapped around him. Like, I look at this character and pretty much right away I can see that he's a dragon type of a character, and these tools imply that he's not a warrior so much. The fire breathing as a way to melt the metals and hammer them down, really cool. I would probably put like a hammer in his hand to really communicate that, have it slung over his shoulder to really drive that home. But the concept, the idea is really interesting. You know, he doesn't need to have a forge. He can just kind of burn out or melt down that metal with the heat from his own flame, which is a really neat idea. I think there are some things in the rendering that could be a little bit improved. I don't want to go into critique too much other than to just say that. Really nice design. This is by Chris Young. Good job, Chris. Another one that I really wanted to point out was this one by Axiom. Now, there are several different images here. There are 3 images. Again, though, you know, we're looking at really incredible rendering skills and really incredible presentation. The ideation, looking at the way that all these different ideas are designed. I'm going to pull this up in a larger view. So when we look at the line work on it, super confident. Obviously, just a really great sketching skills and really great ideations. One of the things that stands out is when you look at all the different designs that Antoine Gadaud, who goes by Axiom, and what he does here is like all these iterations. These are really good for game development, and people don't realize how much of this you go through when you're designing characters, is that you have to do all these different alternates, and they're all derivative of the same concept and idea. But the reason is because sometimes you might have a really cool horn shape or something, but it's not communicating blacksmith or something right away. And so what Antoine did here is he picked one and then he colored it and gave us all the variety of colors. He's showing us his whole workflow here. And this is a good one to study for you guys. The things that I would say are missing are probably in the final design that was chosen. I'm not getting as much of the blacksmithing vibe. I liked the one that had the blacksmithing weapons on his back and communicated immediately that this character was a blacksmith. This one doesn't do that as much. And then also you've got the hammer in the hand that's in the body, and it's sometimes better to have the silhouette really showing the weapon or the item that is going to communicate the story the most. The rendering on it is pretty good. I would do a gradient from the bottom to the top to really kind of pull the attention towards the head. You've got a very kind of a creature-like face here, so maybe adding a little bit of clarity to that, a close-up maybe, or the head at a different angle would be good. Having a monstrous armor design kind of pulls away from that blacksmith idea, you know, and I think that no matter how cool a character's design is, if it doesn't meet the function, it's not going to go. But I would definitely say, like, the professional level of iteration and sketches that are going on in the ideation phase is top notch. Antoine, you killed it, bro. Just a couple more I want to cover. This one's by Mike Cotton Russell. Loved the idea of the blacksmith being entirely made out of stone. His furnace is inside of his body. You've got lava coming out through the rocks. It'd be neat to see a more distinct stone shape coming out of him. Maybe he just feels like he's like ripped himself right out of the side of a mountain or something like that. Love the saturation control. We notice that our eyes go right to the character's eyes, and it's not confusing as to what we're looking at. Because we see a face right away with the high contrast and the saturation, rather than do the saturation throughout the whole body, which was, I think, a really good call. Good to do the front view, the side view, and the nice call-outs, getting those very, very distinct Darksiders coils and swirls in there. So I thought that was really cool. Little cutouts of the tools and things like that. I would like to see that integrated onto the character's design, like where does he hold them, things like that. But really neat idea. I thought this was a good job. Nice job, Mike Cotton Russell. Another one that I wanted to point out was this one by King Ollie, and it's adorably cool. He doesn't look as maybe aggressive as some of the other characters in the Darksiders universe, and I could definitely see this character in something like a very kind of a dark Spyro kind of a universe, and I think there was maybe some Spyro influence. I think that's cool. It's a nice kind of a mashup, and certainly run with your strengths if you have like an affinity for certain shapes and things like that, but also recognize there's certain stylistic things that they do in Darksiders that they wouldn't do in other stylized games. This character is awesome though. I love him. I think he's communicates. He's got the blacksmithing tools and things like that going on, the robes going on, protective gear, the leather belts and things like that. So yeah, I can buy that this character is a blacksmith, certainly. I would like to see maybe different angles of the character to really show that you're understanding the form. A modeler needs to be able to figure out how this works, like how fat are his cheeks, especially with alien characters or characters that are not humanoid is what I'm trying to say. But this is a really cool design, and it should be in maybe your own thing. I think is definitely a neat character. I wanted to point it out. There were a lot of really exciting, awesome, amazing ideas in this month's submissions. I wish that I could go through all of them, but that would literally be a 4-hour video, and most people don't want to watch a 4-hour video of me talking about things I like about every one of these designs. But I love this new concept art challenge. If you feel that you want to contribute, you want to jump in. There is no reward. There is no job at the end of it. There's nothing like that. There's just community interaction. You're gonna see a lot of people challenge themselves. You're gonna be able to challenge other people, not in like a duel or anything kind of a way, just in a a way that kind of brings everybody up and challenges everybody to do better designs. I do jump in and I give feedback throughout the process from time to time. And certainly there's some very creative people in the Aquatic Moon Discord, so I would encourage you to head on over. The link is in the description below. Check out this month's challenge. This month we're going to be designing some sci-fi vending machines. And this is something that my studio at Aquatic Moon gets hired to do from time to time for games like Overwatch. And, specifically, this is to sort of celebrate the anticipation of Cyberpunk 2077, which I am not working on, but I thought it would be really cool to get hyped about some cool sci-fi, cyberpunk specifically. Cyberpunk vending machines was a recommendation by the rest of the community, so there's a lot of people who are super pumped about it. There's some people who've already got a couple of sketches done. So head on over to that Discord. I'd love to see you guys over there and join in on the community. You can give feedback there. You can get feedback there. It's a good place to stretch your wings and fly. All right, dudes, that's it for me this week on this video. Actually, this is just like a Tuesday video or a Monday video. I will see you guys Wednesday, as I always do, and then I'm going to have a lot more extra videos coming in this week as well. All right, till next time, ciao, baby. Oh, yeah.